Hey everybody, so it's time to get back into making guides, and I figured I'd start with Portugal. The reason why I'm jumping in with Portugal first, now that I'm restarting making guides, is because if there's a single tag I've played the most in this game, it's definitely Portugal, meaning I don't have to do as much research into it because I know what works, because usually when I'm playing to relax, Portugal is one of the ones that I play routinely. So let's go ahead and just get started because I have seen people in the Discords complaining that they keep going bankrupt trying to colonize as Portugal. And you really shouldn't be. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Now, we're going to start with the estate privileges. This is all pretty stock standard. There's nothing in particular you have to take, but this is what I recommend. I have all the monarch point generators. I got patronage of the arch for free prestige. Burger's financial demand will increase my tax income. This is just to keep my loyalty equilibrium above 50. And then I have Pope Point, the Pope click for Pope points. Development of temples, because I will build temples just to help me dev easier. And then I do have religious diplomats because it is an extremely strong thing to have. Now that that's been said, if you are a new player, like you are brand new to this game and you're not quite sure how well you're going to do, don't grant the early monarch points until you're used to attacking people. Once you understand how to win early wars, especially as Portugal, you can afford to do that. These penalties can be brutal, especially if you're trying to go just pure pacifist, which you really shouldn't be anyway. But if you're going to have some difficulty, try and not take too many penalties. Once that's been done, you should be good to go. Now, I have already clicked the Pope button and all that, but if you want to have 5 more prestige, go ahead and click the Pope button and then grant patronage of the arts. You'll have 19 prestige instead of 14. Not a huge difference, but still. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to turn off your army. You're not going to need them anytime soon. Take your heavy ships, just send them out to hunt pirates in the Sevilla node. Take your light ships, have them go out to protect trade in the Sevilla node. And then your transports, just go ahead and mothball them. You're not going to be needing them anytime soon. Now, I am going to be playing this as friendly to Castile. I want to point this out because the way I play it is friendly to Castile, though I also can take the option if Aragon is not rival to me, and he is rival to Castile like he is here, you can ally him and try and early attack Castile before he can really get established, and pick him off fairly quickly, and Aragon will come in on promise of land. So that is an option, but I don't recommend it if you're a new player, so I'm going to be doing this with Castile as a friend. It is up to you if you want to do that, but that is how I'm going to be playing it. I'm also going to keep my English alliance, because of course I am. Do not take this mission until you actually need it, because that 10% morale of armies will help you when you actually go to start attacking people. Next, we do have a fort here on Lisbon. Delete it. Again, if you are friends with Castile, you do not need a fort on your capital. You really don't need Evora, but it is better than nothing. And it does give you a little bit of territory you can run around to prevent people from stack wiping you. So just delete the Lisboa one. If you want to delete Evora, your call. You shouldn't have that much economy problems. So your call there. Now we're going to go ahead and work on our other missions here. We have Beyond Cape Bojador? Either way, you're not going to complete that one, but if you scroll down, you'll have competitive advantage. You need to start building up a navy. So come here, build up galleys, just build up 3 galleys. That'll finish up in no time. And then you'll be hiring the other 5 infantry for your army right before you declare war. The other thing you need to do, since you have this free diplomat, is try and get an alliance with the Pope as soon as you can, which is just 1 day. If the Pope is somehow not going to ally you, let's say he's rival to Castile, or he hates you for whatever reason, though I've never seen that happen, you can find a different ally somewhere. And as you can see, I have 1 more slot available to me. As you can also see, I have people here that are rival to me, but Tlemcen is not. So if I can pick up Tlemcen as an ally, I'm going to do that. So let's go ahead and rival the right people here. and I will pick them up if I can. Otherwise, I have other things to do. The moment I can, I'm going to start currying favors with Castile, because that's the higher priority. Come on, there you go. And then Granada, I'm going to start spying on him, and Tlemcen, I will try and get him as an ally. It looks like I'm going to just simply... I think Morocco should do fine. Let's scornfully insult him. That'll pick up Tlemcen as well, and then I can pick up him as an ally. And with that being done, I just need to wait until I hit the point of... Sorry. Kind of brain fog there. Until I'm ready to attack Granada. The way this works is because I'm rival to them, I'm allied to Tlemcen and all that, they should pick up both Tunis and Morocco as allies. And if they do both, Castile will not attack Granada without you willing to come in. Meaning you're able to declare and call Castile in, meaning you dictate the peace terms. On top of that, you dictate when everyone else gets to be at peace. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording because I need to wait until I have a claim against Granada, Castile's willing to come in, and I'll bring you guys back at that point. Now, if for whatever reason Granada does not pick up both of these guys as allies, or if Castile does attack, you can restart if you want to. It does make it slightly easier, but it's not necessary. Having Granada as your own land is beneficial, but not required. So I'm going to go ahead and wait. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So this is going to be a brief comment here. You'll notice that Castile is fighting a bunch of rebels. This happens every single game. This is why they're not going to be willing to just go in on Granada that often. Sometimes even if they just have Morocco, they will still do it, because they're taking so much damage fighting these rebels that they won't feel like they have enough manpower to fight him, and him, and him, and him, and him. And if Tunis is involved as well, it just is even more. So hopefully you'll be able to get lucky with this. I did have to restart because Navarra's ruler died, and it started a PU war against Castile and Aragon, with Burgundy on Aragon's side and Austria on Aragon's side. It was just a, alright, I'll restart. It was just a, oh yeah, that's dumb. Either way, hopefully you'll have a little bit better luck than I do. Either way, I will see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I have my army built up. I just added 5 infantry. I split them in half, had 1 sent down here, 1 sent over here to Cadiz. The reason why is I'm going to launch into Jebel Tariq and Malacca. The reason why I do this is because maybe it's just me and bad luck with forts, but for whatever reason, sometimes when I go to Cadiz to Jebel Tariq, it won't let me until I take the fort at Malacca. By coming up from Ceuta, I don't have to deal with that. So either way, this is what I choose to do. You might not have to do it, or you might try to go without it, but I don't like doing that, so either way. My truce has just ended. Send these guys out. Merge these guys up. Put the explorer you start with to run that navy, and declare and call in Castile, because you will just have 10 favors, which means you don't have to give him any land. And he will do most of the fighting for you. So I'm going to move him there. I should instantly win that fight. Move up to Jebel Tariq. And now I just need to take... Okay, let's try that again. There we go. And I got lucky, and they're having pretender rebels at the moment. That isn't very common. I see it every so often, but it shouldn't be that big of an issue. And, oh, I accidentally called in Tlemcen, but... that just means Tlemcen's going to have a very bad day, because they'll get knocked out well before anything. Usually, if the whole point of Tlemcen is if he is both allied by Morocco and Tunis, he shouldn't be giving military access to Tunis. Meaning Tunis really can't get over here very quickly to come fight you. So just by having them as an ally means that he's not going to be overly willing to give anybody else access. If you're having difficulty, or if Castile is really having bad time with rebels and ends up piecing out early, then you can call them in because they are a great distraction for you. so you can take something like Fez. Okay, I have taken what I want to, so I'm going to stack up. Because I want this fort for myself. I also would prefer to have Fez, but that's going to be debatable onto whether or not I can get it. Renaissance spawn, that's fine. Come on. Come on. The reason I want Fez more than I want Tangiers is while Tangiers is great, it has a fort, it has a center of trade, Fez is a mountain fort. It also has 13 development, which means that you're able to, with your 7 development in Ceuta, just flat out embrace Moroccan culture, which will help you convert everything else. So, it is nice to have it. It's not necessary, so don't, like, destroy your country to get it. But in this case, I'm not having any difficulty whatsoever, so I will absolutely stand on Fez myself if I have to, and not have Castile do it, but should be fine. And again, I didn't have to promise anybody any land, so it should just be done. I don't need to spy on you any further. And just waiting for this to be done. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording again because this might take a while and I'm trying not to have this be too long of a guide. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So Fez actually fell pretty quickly. It just took a while for everything else. I'm taking maximum money, these 2 provinces and war reps. I don't really think I need to do anything else. No, I'm not going to wait for the alliance break. That's only like half a prestige for me. I don't see the point. Now, as far as Granada, I am going to give these 2 provinces to Castile. It's for a couple of reasons. 1, it gives me 16 favors with them. 2, I can't take anything past Malaga anyway. If I take these 2 provinces, he's fine with it. If I take Granada, he will break that alliance and attack me. And he will never get that alliance back again. So, don't take anything past Malaga. If you don't want any of the other land in here, you can just take Jabal Tariq, because you want Gibraltar. But other than that, yep, piece this out. And now I just need to core everything up. Gonna take my guys, put them back over here. Oh, and I do have access through Castile, so be sure you actually ask for that. And just gonna... Yes. Delete these 2 forts, because I do not need them any further. And as you can see, Tlemcen, they're not happy that I took Fez. But I don't care. This Fez fort will keep anybody from crossing this direction, and Malaga will keep anybody from coming from this direction. And both of those forts are mountain forts, which means this is a very dangerous place for somebody to attack. So at this point, I'm just going to core things up, suppress the rebels, embrace Moroccan culture when I can, and that'll let me convert all of this fairly easily. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to do that. I'm going to have to actually turn on my troops. Yeah, I should be fine. But just keep yourself from going bankrupt. Don't go into too much debt. Oh, as I said, I had to restart, so I'm glad I noticed that, because I was paying for a fort the entire time that I don't really need. And as you can see, competitive advantage, that actually, I should have done that earlier too. Don't follow this. You guys can do better than me in that regard. But learn from my mistakes. There we go. And then I'll take this tech and just keep up. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, because this is mainly just keeping the rebels down. And in fact, I could just talk about this now. As you can see, Morocco's getting destroyed. They're losing an independence war, and they're losing it very, very badly. One of 2 things happens. Either Morocco is able to maintain control over their vassals, or they're not. If they are not, if they end up getting destroyed like this, you want to take Morocco and then potentially release Morocco if they still have a bunch of cores. Because I can take Morocco with this and reconquer everything except for 1 province and have insanely low anything and not have to pay the admin cost when I'm integrating them once I'm done colonizing and I have my colonial idea done. The other option is, if Morocco maintains control over these vassals and integrates them, conquer one of their provinces and reconquer the rest of their provinces, and then just straight annex the rest of Morocco. But it's not, just play it by ear with what you have available. With that being said, I'm going to pause the recording. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And the first rebel group spawned, and they're on Fez, because it's the highest development Moroccan province I have. So they're going to be quick. And, by the way, as far as the Andalusians go, or the Granadans, the highest development province you have for them is Malaga. Meaning, they'll be on a mountain fort there too. So, just keep your guy here in Ceuta, and don't dev Ceuta for any reason. But, you'll be able to take him out. But, see you guys soon. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to seize land, because I did. Don't do that. And welcome back, everybody. Now, as you can see, Morocco's kind of having a bad day, but they're about to have a better day. You see, I'm going to attack them, I'm going to vassalize them. I can't seem to call in Castile unless I use some favors, though, so I will do so, because I really would like you to come in. But this should be fine. Sus, it looks like they actually have allies. Yeah, fair enough. Alright, off I go. Hire a general, and I'm moving in. Now, if you notice, my economy is a lot worse for wear now. I can't afford the colony. But that's why we're going after Morocco. You see, there's a gold mine here. There's also a event that will trigger if you are the first country to get a hold of a gold mine that you did not have at the start of the game outside of Europe. That'll give you an extra, I think it's basically worth 5 Diplo development in a gold mine. I'm trying to remember exactly what the goods produced of that is, but I've always remembered it as as if you debbed it 5 times, which is very, very, very useful. So at this point, I think I'd rather have you. You're easiest to do. But I just got to get through this war. I need to get Morocco on my side, and then I can attack Tafalot and get that gold mine in my hands as quickly as possible. And I thought I called you in. Did I make that mistake? I think I made that mistake. Alright, well. That help? Yeah, that helps. Alright, come on in. I'm just filled with mistakes today. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and fight this war. I'll bring you guys back when it's done, and I can show you how I'm going to not go bankrupt while colonizing, which is the gold mine. That just is a hint. See you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I took Dara up here because I will release Algiers, and I am going to force vassalize Morocco. The other option you have, if you really don't want to be directly converting or embracing Moroccan culture, is to just annex them and re-release them as Morocco. However, I do actually want to convert this over, so I'm just going to take them as a straight-up vassal. And yeah, they can be annoyed all they want. Don't care. And release Algiers. Now that that is done, I can actually come in here and take strong duchies. And that'll keep myself from going over the Diplo limit. And on top of that, I can now attack Tafalot, calling in Castile again. They had their civil war. That was what was going on. But now that that's over, they should be willing to come in. Looks like I'm just shy of the next level, so let's do that. I know I had the thing to do it, so there we go. Now I'm at least into 20, and that reduces these penalties. Move these guys into position, get ready to call in Castile. And I'm taking Tafalot, but I'm feeding everything else I can back to Morocco. And that should actually make them loyal and like me at the same time. Let's see here. I have a new rival slot, so that's going to Aragon. Do I want to cede this to you? Not really. No? Maybe after I have Tafelalt as a core. Either way. Oh, now Castile won't come in. That's fantastic. Well, looks like I'm outnumbered by quite a bit, so I'll figure out why they suddenly said no. It shouldn't be that much debt suddenly got taken, but I'll figure it out. Either way, see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to consolidate here and keep colonizing, because that is really the big hang-up. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I ended up just hiring the Grand Company, using like all my manpower in sieges. Took a... No, I didn't take the burger loan, that's right. I just kind of just did it. And I did finish the English Alliance for that 10% morale of armies, and that really did help. So do keep a hand on it, because you never know when you might need it, because you could use that late game if you want, but there we go. 50% more goods produced, just because. So that should help with that. I need to get my... Did my navy get wiped? My navy got wiped. Okay, that's interesting. You're not going to give me access, are you? Yeah, you're a rival. Alright. Either way, I need to build up a transport anyway. So, build 2 transports. Get the gold mine cord up. Dev it to 10 as quickly as you can. And once you can, drop the autonomy. You need to drop the autonomy on this. The reason why is because you're only getting 10% of the gold that you could be getting out of this, no matter how high the development is, if it's at 90%. So get this down as quickly as you possibly can. Everything else, though, just simply let Morocco core this stuff up and get your cores back for them. Aragon, this is kind of unusual that they took this, but it's not really that big of a deal. I can always integrate Algiers, get Tlemcen out, and then use Castile once they become Spain to get those cores back without actually having to conquer them. Either way, I could now just keep converting. Oh, and if you're having difficulty converting, you do have the option of doing Enforced Unity of Faith in here. You also have the extra morale that you can get from... I don't remember what the privilege is called, and I can't click on it, but it's basically the one where you have the bonus if you keep attacking people outside of your religious group. I chose to go with Papal Emissary for extra yearly papal influence, and the reason why is having extra income coming in helps a lot more, as well as the free stability. So it's up to you which you think is more important, but just pick what you find to be most interesting or most vital for you. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep going, and then once I hit the point where it's something to talk about next, I'll bring you guys back. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. So I briefly wanted to talk about this 3rd level reform. These two that you have for having yourself be Portugal and having colonial ideas, they really suck. This is great once you have a lot of gold mines in your colonies, because it'll make you have 25% more gold coming in. But obviously I have no gold mines in colonies right now, so that doesn't do anything for me. And global trade power, it's so minor, it doesn't matter. Over here we have 5% more settler chance, but 5% more settler chance really isn't what we need at the moment. Right now, this tax modifier is pretty good, because you kind of are having money problems. Just coming in here, since you're never really going to do anything else in this area, and just turning on 50% more taxes makes it so you make a decent chunk more of income, just because your provinces that are making a lot of tax income spike. So I'm making right now 1.4, so turning it on here, 1.64. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it does absolutely end up helping you, especially since you never know what you're going to be doing. You might be and when you build the temples, it will help improve that even more. But also, when you come in here and you burn this, it counts it as how much of your tax income is over a period of 2 years, if I remember right. So that increases the amount I get by that for 50%. So turn them on, if for no other reason than before you burn all your tax dev. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and keep going, because I do need to keep colonizing a bit more and get further along. And it looks like Castile's now colonizing too. I have already grabbed these two provinces, and now I'm going to move into Brazil and into West Africa with this province, and then start swinging south as fast as I can. But, see you guys in a little bit. What's up, everybody? So I'm giving away a CD key for Tin Can. If you want a copy of this game, just comment the words below Tin Can. At the end of the week, I'll go through all the comments, and anybody that commented Tin Can, I will put your name in a hat, and I will pick one of you at random. The person I picked, I'll reply to your comment with the CD key. Now, obviously, this is a public reply, so be sure you're actually paying attention, because if somebody else sees your CD key and they enter it first, it's their game, not yours. So just be sure you pay attention. But with all that being said, let's get back to the game. And welcome back. So I have it all cored up. I'm at 44% autonomy. I did that just by stating it. And I wanted to show you it's at 10 development in gold, which means I have 4.76 per month. Dropping down the autonomy will cause more rebels, but it does spike it by 2 ducats a month. That's a whole extra colony. This is why you need to drop the autonomy. I just wanted to point that out and show you actual numbers, because me telling you you'll make more money doesn't really ring as home true as actually seeing it. Now, obviously, I will have inflation that's going to be a problem, but with 2 extra ducats, I can just hire an inflation advisor. I don't care. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause it. I need to keep going. I have a truce that's continuing on with Marrakesh. Aragon is smacking Tunis pretty hard, and they're probably going to take cores that I can go after them with Castile, so we'll see what happens. But I'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So, this is kind of irrelevant, but I just wanted to talk to you about some new privileges to take. Now that I've converted everything, I automatically lost the one that gave me a little bit more missionary strength. Replaced that with established New World missions. The extra assimilation, if you weren't aware of what assimilation does, it gives you extra goods produced when you end up integrating them into your country, when you finally colonize it. As long as these natives remain, you get extra goods produced of whatever good it happens to be, which is very nice if it's a gold province. So you kind of want to have even more benefit of that. The next one is down here, grant New World charters. This is faster colonizing. Obviously, you want to take that. But the last one's right here, and this is the new one that took me a while to finally find and see that it was there. Colony cost modifier. So as you can see, if I come up here, my cost for my 2 colonies is now not 4 ducats, it's only 3. That means I can start doing extra colonies and not fall as behind, and since I still have the gold mine, I can absolutely afford them. So I'm going to go to the second one here, I'm going to recall him, and send him into, well, that should be done. I don't know why it won't let me, oh, because I don't have a colonist done. Well, let's go to the edge of what would be Brazil and start moving on that end too. And then once he arrives, I can pull him back and send him again, and you can see that I shouldn't be having that much money problem. Yeah, that wasn't going to last long enough. Come on. Get there. Now, pull back. And go right next to it. And while I went from 3, should go to like 4.5, I think it is. No, 4.8, something like that. It shouldn't be that bad. Come on. Gotta wait to arrive. Oh, 6. Okay, either way. I'm still paying for 3 colonies as much as I would be paying for 3 colonies by having that. So it lets you get a jump start on actually having enough colonies down to start claiming Brazil, and then you can work on other things from there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working on that, and I'll bring you guys back when there's more to discuss. See you then. And welcome back, everybody. So Morocco is now basically what they should be, so I need to start integrating them. As you can see, they are going to cost an absolute ton to integrate, and the reason why it's going to take so long is because they are a different religion, and just a bunch of other nonsense. So you can choose to try and force their religion. I really don't think it's necessarily worth it. Just take your time. It will take a while for you to integrate them, but you're not in exactly a rush. So don't worry too much about it. Now, as far as keeping them loyal, Just make sure that you dev them if you need to, give them land. And the last thing you really want to worry about is Fez. Despite me taking Fez and coring it, I actually want to give it back at this point. The reason why is not Liberty Desire, but because of their mission tree. They have a mission tree where they are required to have Fez and build a mosque there, or have 15 development there. But if you go through it, they will eventually get this province for free. And while I could just drop a colonist there, I then have to pay for that. If this gets up to the appropriate amount of development, as well as garb, and again, that will help keep them in line, they should complete that mission, and then go down to the next one, which will then complete that mission. Come on. Do it. There you go. And now they have that province there stated up. The reason why that's important is because you can do one of two things. You can either try and attack West Africa from this province, which is dangerous because if you lose a fight somehow and get attacked there, you're suddenly stack wiped and you have to bring in a naval invasion. From here, you can straight invade them, making it a lot easier to take out West Africa. So I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm pushing into West Africa at this point because I need another avenue of easy expansion, and that definitely fits the bill. So I'm going to go ahead and keep building up my light ship navy here. I keep forgetting to set them to protect trade, but I need to have them hit. Let's not put that one there. Let's just put you here. I need to have them hit. In fact, let's not do that. Sorry, I'm just debating with myself if I want to make sure just an easier selection, because you need to have all of them in order to complete a mission. So just start getting built up to your force limit so that you don't forget to do the mission, because I did that a lot of times, and end up having to go back and do even more. So, but once this province is colonized, you don't need Morocco anymore. There's no other cores for them, and there really isn't any other reason to have them. They might discover the region, but that doesn't give you anything in permanent claims. Why? Just take it yourself. With that being said, see you guys soon. Welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things because I just hit that point finally, where I finally finished and I got colonial expansion. This gives you not only more settlers, which is always nice, but it also drops the uprising chance by 50. Now, most people would go through here and pick this one right here, negative 50 uprising chance. I strongly recommend you go native repression. That 20 extra settlers will make things go a lot faster. But far more importantly, you have through one of these buttons. I don't remember which one it is. I think it's actually this one, Establish New World Missions, where if you come in here, you can drop it by another 50%. So you don't have to stay on the pacifist route. You can just go straight to the middle one. I simply clicked the wrong one by mistake, so I just went with it. But now I don't have any uprisings, and I still have the plus 20. I just have to remember to click this button, and if I fail to click the button, it just means I have one set of natives rise up, and then I click the button. And then I have Conquistador here, just in case I need one, so I'm not spending military points on it. Always a nice thing to have, but now that that's done, I can actually start doing that. The other thing I wanted to point out is you actually colonize faster as long as there is another colony next to you. So if you are on the border with what you're doing in Brazil, you can throw colonies next to you, which will make it go faster if they're not in one solid line. But I'm over here not because I want to also claim Colombia or Argentina. Instead, I'm going to go and I'm going to feed those provinces to Brazil. In fact, I need to change you to self-governing. And I'm going to grant you these provinces. And yeah, it makes him larger. I want a large Brazil. Those of you who have played this game a very long time know exactly what I'm doing, or at least you should. For those of you who are new, there is a special thing about Portugal that you can do that I swear I never see anybody do. But it's very easy to do, and I will show you what it is. That's coming up later. But as you can see, I'm also in South Africa. I'm trying to wrap back around because that is the next stage of my mission tree, conquer Zanzibar, and then I can go straight into India, Malacca, Cathay, and then Japan. So give me a moment while I finish doing what I'm going to be doing, and then I can show you the rest of the mission tree and then what you can do as Portugal. Be right back. And welcome back, everybody. So I spent some time going through my mission tree, at least as far as I actually want to go down it. I took Zanzibar, which lets me get Goa, which then I can go to Malacca. Now, once you can actually have range there, you can charter a company there. I did this little island here off of Jambi, which lets me vassalize Jambi. Once they were vassalized, other people realized I existed, allowing me to vassalize these two guys, and then I could jump Malacca from their own land here, so I didn't have to do a naval invasion or cross the strait, and I could have two armies in position. Then I simply used my trade ships, and I was able to get Macau for free, going down here to trade with Cathay. All you need to do is have 15% trade power and like 50 opinion with whoever owns it, which is like nothing. And then trade with Japan, it's the same thing. 15 trade power plus 50 opinion with whoever owns it, and you can just get Nagasaki for free. The problem with it is that, as you can see, they cannot be a subject nation, so either they have to be the shogun, or you're going to have to invade. Now, I did just simply come up here because I knew it was still around, and you can just charter a nation there instead. So if you don't want to wait, you can do that. You can also buy one off of Korea, though that's like 8,000 ducats. I knew it was like $1,000. And you should be fine with income. Now, the reason why you're having such a great time with money is because you have any gold mines that you found in Brazil. And I have been lazy. I haven't been colonizing this region like I should have been. But I recommend you do it instead because, yeah. I also recommend that you spend more time going into Western Africa. But if you look at what I have gold mines here, I have a gold mine here, I have a gold mine out here, there's another one in Mutapa I could have grabbed, and one in Kilwa I could have grabbed. There's just a lot of gold that I could very easily grab, as well as a lot of trade while I'm doing this. So you have a lot of income potential that you just need to go and take, and the gold will eventually become less important. However, as you can see, yeah, I do have inflation problems still. Now let's talk about what you can do as Portugal in a multiplayer game or just in general if you want to. So, oh, by the way, if you do go to West Africa, this monument is very nice because you don't have to do anything with culture or religion, but 10% tech cost is amazing to have. You have the money, I'd recommend bumping this thing up, bar none. That said, let's talk about what you can do. Now that I have my guys here integrated, I can actually show you what I do when I want to kind of be a troll to Spain, because why not? You want to have a large Brazil. That is why I'm feeding them land in Colombia, in Argentina, because I want Brazil to have as much of South America as possible. Now, usually Castile will colonize this instead. That's fine, because you will be able to get it out of Castile's grasp, and there won't be much they can do to stop you. And the reason why is because as Portugal, you can just go to the New World a lot easier. Just come in here, and you can either release, let me find them, Granada, or, in the alternative, you can release Tlemcen or anybody else as long as they can reach over into Portugal proper. Easiest ones I've found so far are Sousse, Marrakesh, not Morocco, where is it? No, you must not, yeah, that's right, he did inform. Sale is another one, the one right here, the little one province minor. All of these work. However, since I got Granada, that works too. This will also give me 2 little cores that I can go and take back from him, but then just go to Granada and start handing them land. You need to remove all of your land except for 5 provinces in Europe. That's it. As long as you can have less than 5 provinces in Europe, you're fine. Let me just keep doing this. And remember, your 3 islands over here count. So you actually do have to go quite far. Let's get this done. And now I'm going to simply move my capital. And yes, I do want to do this. I know it sounds dumb for me to do this, but you want to do that. Do I have it now? Not yet. I think I'm 1 province too high. That might do it. Yep, there we go. Fleet of Brazil. Now what this button does is you become Brazil. The thing is that you don't just become Brazil. You fully integrate this colonial nation. But you get to keep everything you have outside of the New World and outside of Europe. Anything still left in Europe that you owned becomes a personal union. So those centers of trade that I handed off because I didn't want it to be 50 years in a personal union. I instead have Granada, which I can just annex in 10 years. I just become Brazil. And I can even take stuff, take their new ideas. So I have Brazilian ideas, which it depends on whether or not you want to play with these or not. They have a different set of, well, not really a different set of missions, but still have them here. But you are able to still go down and do your thing. So just do this once Brazil is large enough for where you don't want to have them colonizing on their own, and you want to start expanding into the other colonial regions without spawning colonies. The other nice thing is that now your capital is in the New World in Rio de Janeiro. As a result, you can attack colonial nations, so if Castile decided to actually colonize like they should over here, you can walk in and take their stuff, because you can always break your alliance with them, and take whatever you want. And by this point, if you notice my force size, I'm at 77. I mean, I could probably get a little bit higher. I'm keeping up with Castile. They did not get the Iberian Union in this game, but that really wouldn't matter that much because I should be able to pick up an alliance with France if I went for it. And there's also another thing that I need to keep in mind because I didn't actually talk about it. So let me reset the game because I want to point out this in case you guys choose to go this path. I was intentionally avoiding it this game. So give me 1 second while I pull that up. See you in a second. And welcome back to 1444. This is not Iron Man because it really doesn't matter. I wanted to talk about Burgundy. The reason why is because most people that play Portugal don't really even think about the potential of getting the Burgundian inheritance, and that's because people don't really understand how the Burgundian inheritance actually works. So I did want to talk briefly about the strongest ally option that Burgundy has. You see, they can either go under 4 different paths when they fall into the Burgundian inheritance event. Either, 1, they can choose to remain independent and fight everybody. They can go with France and make Austria mad. They can go with, or the Emperor mad, sorry. They can go with the Emperor and make France mad, or they can pick their strongest ally. Big air quotes there. The thing is, the strongest ally is determined by the number of provinces. That's it. It has nothing to do with the development of those provinces. It has nothing to do with the culture, location, or anything else of those provinces, just the number. And as Portugal, you actually have a really strong advantage of that. You are already a 13 province country. Austria is only 17. So just by taking these 2 in Granada and a couple more down here in Morocco, you're the same size as Austria in terms of number of provinces. You take out the rest of Morocco, you're larger than Castile. You take into West Africa into account, and that's usually by the time you're pushing into West Africa or colonizing, is when the Burgundian inheritance can fire. meaning you are actually a viable candidate to end up getting the Burgundian inheritance. And there's only one other thing I really need to point out here. First off, you're actually pretty close to being able to get them. They'll usually fill up with other options, such as in this case, they hate Castile, they hate Aragon and England. They're probably going to ally Austria or France. But if you can get in there and get a royal marriage with them, and then an alliance, you'll probably be pretty good. Now, if you do get it, they are likely to be very disloyal. I mean, extremely disloyal. It's going to take a long time before you can get them under control. However, if you're allied to England, Castile, and probably Austria by that point, you're not going to have any problems keeping them under control, because they will never actually declare independence because they'll be terrified of your allies. Lastly, I showed you that you could flee to Brazil. If you flee to Brazil, your personal unions come with you. So while if you get the Burgundian inheritance where you actually just flat out inherit the country, you have to re-release all these European provinces. But if they're still Burgundy, you can flee to Brazil and become Brazil with a Burgundian personal union. There is nothing that would stop you. So go for the Burgundian inheritance if you want to. It really is just a personal preference, and whether or not it will blow up in your face will depend on whether or not A, you're even capable of getting the royal marriage, because sometimes they ally everybody that hates you and it just will not happen. Or they'll like ally Aragon and then Castile refuses the Iberian wedding, so they just stay with too many slots. So there's a lot of different ways that it can't happen, but if you do go for it and you actually get it, make sure you have plenty of mana available to rapidly develop them to get them loyal, because if anybody supports their independence, even if they're no longer a rival, they will continue to support independence until you attack them just to break it. And it's just very annoying to have to go and do that. But with all that being said, that's how I play Portugal. Usually I will go for the Burgundian inheritance because I do not form Brazil, but I wanted to show you this without having the Burgundian inheritance, because that's maybe 10% of the time you're going to be able to even try and get it, and then maybe a quarter of the time you actually get it. So maybe 2.5% of the time I end up having the Burgundian inheritance as Portugal, which is a very fun thing to have, both the lowlands and Portugal over here. And then with those two together, yeah, Castile's done. But if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm going to be making more guides. I'm also going to be still releasing, where I simply play the game. I might be doing that with the countries that I'm showing as a guide, showing you guys me playing along the same strategy of the guide to what you do after the initial point, if people are curious, but I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing as of yet. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.